Welcome to Meet the Author, where you can join in on insightful conversations with best-selling and award-winning indie published authors. Your hosts today are Rob and Joan, who themselves are indie published authors, book publicists, and paranormal investigators with Tampa Bay Spirits, based in Tampa Bay, Florida. Thanks for dropping by. And now, on with the show.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan. Is your voice changing already?
I think so.
Finally?
Yeah. I'm getting a job with the Muppets.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. To all of our usual audience, welcome back. Those of you who are tuning in for the first time, glad to have you here. Oh, hello, George.
Hello, George, in the Peanut Gallery.
Oh, you'll never be in the Peanut Gallery, George. Don't forget, WLFEDB.com is on TV now. It streams on Stream, actually. It's Variety Unlimited, which is where you'll find our show. It's being broadcast live there now. And LGBTQ Friends, and also Paranormal View. You can find all of them there. Hey, hi, Jan. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Jan.
Good to see you. And Barbara. Yay.
Hey, Barb.
Hello. Glad that you can make it to the show.
Guess what?
What?
Both of our guests tonight are going to bring vampires to the table.
I know some people that we've talked to are pretty excited about that.
Not only that, but we've got a bunch of ebooks to give away tonight.
Oh, a bunch, you guys. Get ready.
Our first guest will be Alan. We'll introduce him here in just a second. The second part of the show will be author Susanne Leist, Paranormal Mysteries with vampires with a bit of romance there. So she's going to explain all that to you. But now, here's Alan Zacher, murder mystery, and then he also writes murder mysteries with plus vampires. So, hello, Alan.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
How about yourself?
Good.
So everyone's thinking, what are you talking about? A murder mystery with vampires? Tell us about your books.
Well, let me first say I write wholesome family entertainment novels. I don't write sex. I don't write graphic violence. My novels are for entertainment and education and fun. Anyone from 13 on up, I would say fine. The only reason I say 13, not below that, is because it deals with murders, and that in and of itself is really not appropriate for anyone under 13, but anyone 13 or above, I'm fine with. Now, I write just solely murder mystery, but there's two categories. One is straightforward murder mystery, and I call that serious writing. The other is writing with murder mysteries with vampires and ghosts and demons. That to me is fun. I get a kick out of it, and plus the fact too. If conflict is one of the if conflict is one of the major components of writing, then conflict being man against man, man against nature, man against God, then to increase that, I feel writing with vampires and demons and ghosts heightens the drama, the excitement, the entertainment. Plus, the fact too, on a serious note, many horror novels written by Stephen King, Ray Bradbury have a huge moral lesson to them. a lesson to the plight of man and the planet and such. So that's there on a deeper level. But on a fun level, who doesn't get excited about vampires and demons and Satan? I mean, even you. I know that with your paranormal investigations, when you go into a house, a Victorian style house, or a jail that has been long shuttered and abandoned, and you hear, yeah, and you run, and it scares the bejesus out of you when it's over and you feel safe. Aren't you excited and happy about it? Hasn't it given you something extra? It's cool.
Yeah, not if it's a vampire, Alan.
Well, yeah.
Ghosts and entities with you.
On a serious note, again,
Yeah.
trust me, I like comedy. But on a serious note too, I consider horror novels to be, or Greek mythology, Greek, I can't read that, are Greek tragedies. Sadly, not very many people read these anymore, but they were all moral novels. They told us something about life and prepared us for life. I mean, when Protheus stole fire, the gods would, fire being symbolic of power, the god punished him and sent his son and him to a high mountain that you couldn't get down from. And Prometheus, being a wise man, said, I'll get us out of here, son. And he built wings from tree branches and bird feathers and glued them all together by melting wax. Now, these moral and lessons are as relevant today as they were written, 3,000 years ago? Before Prometheus and his son tie these wings on and fly away, he warns the son, don't go near the sun, because he knows that it will melt the wax and he'll go down. And he says, yeah, Dad, okay, let's put it. Well, they fly off and the sun is drunk with flying. I can fly. And he's zooming and flying, and he's going higher and higher. And yes, he goes to the sun. It remelts the wax, the feathers fly off, and boop, he dies.
On he goes.
That is so relevant, even today.
Tricia says, I read Bradbury's The Veldt when I was 12, and that has stuck with me my whole life. So creepy.
But it has a moral, just like the story I'm telling.
It does. Don't walk it through your television screen.
My father's in the living room, and he's having an exhausted day. He's reading the paper, and his teenage son comes out and says, hey, Dad, give me those keys. And the father goes, well, all right, son, but be careful. Please don't go too fast. He said, yeah, Dad. Okay, you'll fart. And he leaves, and what does he do? He puts that pedal to the metal and zoom. So these stories, these horror stories, they have such a moral fabric to them. Now, my other straight murder mysteries, they are written, I mean, every story has been told. There's no story that has not been told. Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, Harry Potter, Star Wars. They're coming of age stories. All have been told many, many times. So, I try to give a slant, and my slant is humor. Any good writing worth its salt says something about the world, the people in it, and ultimately yourself. And hopefully, even my little stories do that. What I try to do is give a good slant, even to the serious stories, with humor. Case in point, if I may give you an example. Hello, how are you? Beautiful name, Jennifer.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl too.
Really?
Woman. Sorry, Genevieve. She's a beautiful woman.
I have 2 sequels. I wrote Being a PI, and the sequel is Being a PI again. Now, the first one, the leading protagonist is a 57-year-old man named Tom Mars. He is a man, sadly, who has done nothing with his life. He has never kept a job. He's quit everyone. He's never been married, never had kids. He's lived at home with his mom and dad all of his life. He's had a share, and it's his mom and dad's fault. They babied him since he was a baby and have made a cripple out of him. He is scared to death of the outside world, so he stays home. Well, it's Christmas time, and his father had Alzheimer's, and it got so bad that during the summer of that Christmas, they placed him in a nursing home because they just couldn't care for the man anymore. It was too much of a chore for him and his 86-year-old mother. Now, his 86-year-old mother, Lil, she loves these old-time detective. Hi, Paul. She loves these old-time detective movies, such as Humphrey Bogart as Sam Spade and Alan Ladd. But the ones she loves the best are the Thin Man movies. And with
our favorite
Marlowe and
Dick
William
Powell.
Powell. And they made
William Powell.
they made 6 of them. And Tom, for his mother's birthday, had purchased the whole complete DVD set, and she watches them like crazy. Well, it's Christmas time, and they're both feeling the pain of their dad not being there, missing the first Christmas of not being at home. So Tom feels incumbent to spend time with his mom, and she's on the kick of watching these Thin Man movies. Well, Tom has seen these movies and knows about it. Now, his mother, Lil, doesn't have Alzheimer's, but the poor dear is 86 years old, and she forgets. So Tom thinks, I'll play a trick on her. He says, Mom, I'm sick to death of my stupid life. I've never have done anything. I think I have what it takes to be a PI, like William Powell. I think I can be Nick Shaw. And to prove it to you, Mom, before this movie's over, I'm going to tell you who the killer is and why he or she did it. And he does. And that's the next night. And the next night. And by the 4th night, she says, Tom, I really think you got something here. I really think you could be a PI. Do it. And Tom, this was a joke. And he goes, oh, Mom, with any business venture, the hardest part is getting started. If I get my first client, word will get out, and then word of mouth, and I'll be set if I could just get that first client. But it's going to take me a while to get that first client. And he goes off thinking this was all fun. Well, the next morning, he's lying on the couch reading the paper, waiting for his mom to make breakfast for him. She's over visiting the next door neighbor, an old woman, dying woman who has colon cancer by the name of Mrs. Peterson, and Lil went over just to visit her because she was complaining about the neighbor's dog making noise, and she wanted to know if she should call the police again. Well, her great granddaughter, Tyra, was killed, brutally murdered. She was a latchkey girl alone. Her mother had disappeared 7 years ago, and the father was tried, convicted, and sentenced to the execution chair, and he was going to be executed in January. Well, her mother comes rushing in. Tom's on the couch in his pajamas, reading the paper, anxious for his mother to make him breakfast, and she says, Tom, the Lord has answered your prayers. Clara, Mrs. Peterson, wants you to find out who really murdered Todd. And Todd goes, shut. Well, he to appease his mother and to not let her know it was all a joke, Mom. I'm no PI. He takes the case, and he's very inept. I mean,
that sounds really good.
But he does solve it. He does solve who really killed that little girl, and he's famous. He's even on that TV show 48 Hours, and he's hailed. Everybody, the whole community has changed. They all thought Tom was a nothing, a nobody, and now he's got this fame, and the old phone in the kitchen is ringing off the wall. Everybody wants Tom to investigate the cases, and he keeps saying no, and his mother keeps, why are you doing this? Take those cases. And he says, I'm looking for a real juicy murder like the last one, but he doesn't want to do it. He's no PI, he's no detective. And the months goes by, and the phone stops ringing, goes down to a trickle. And one day, a woman calls, and Lil, his mother, answers the phone, and she wants Tom to see if her husband is cheating on him with another woman. And she says, Tom, and she tells his wife, Tom will do it. And she hands the phone and says, you do it. So he does do it. And he thinks, well, it's not like the other case where someone shot at me or got beat up, and the two persons that actually did the murder almost killed him. But his mother, his 86-year-old, rushed in at the last moment and saved him from being murdered. Well, he follows this guy, and the man is not cheating on his wife per se. He is cheating on her, but not with women or even men. From time to time, he will rent a room at a cheap hotel by the hour. But before he goes to the hotel, he stops at a grocery store and he buys the largest watermelon that he can find. And he takes it to the room, cuts a hole in it, and Well, let's just say he has fun. A lot of fun with that watermelon.
Okay.
And Tom takes pictures of this. And he presents it to the woman. This man's wife, and she goes, "Oh my God! Oh my God! He does apples!" Oh, Mr. Myers, please tell me what I should do. I don't know what I don't want to divorce him. I love my husband. He's a good man. Should I divorce him? Tell me, please. And Tom goes, I can't tell you. Please tell me, Mr. Myers. Please, I'm begging you, tell me what you would do. He must love me. He must. Tell me, what would you do? Well, Tom scratches his head, thinks, and then he says, well, if you don't want to divorce him, and if you want to remain at home, if I were you, I would definitely stop buying produce. You know,
Hey, Alan.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is this being a PI?
I'm no PI.
yeah.
Or I'm no PI. Okay.
That's-
All right. We've got your book giveaway up here at the bottom. We're running a little short on time now,
Yeah.
but about 8 minutes left.
Sorry.
I wanted you to share just a little bit, if you don't mind. You've had to overcome quite a few obstacles. So if you can give us like a short little summary of your
Yeah.
life and what's happened in your life that you've
I
had to
was an
overcome.
actor in Los Angeles for many years. I came back because my dad, like Tom's dad, had Alzheimer's. I went to graduate school, and then it was the graduate school that I began writing very seriously and getting published. And I got a job as an adjunct professor in a junior college teaching English. And about 3 months into that, I noticed I was having trouble with my leg, with my hand. It got worse and worse and worse and worse. 3 years later, I was finally diagnosed with having MS. I was almost homeless. My parents passed. I don't have anybody. I was in a nursing home for 4 years, and told myself, I'm not dying here. I'm not. This shit. I'm not dying in this lousy place. It was very difficult getting out. I finally got out with the help of a social worker, got my own apartment again, and from there I began writing again. And that pretty much is it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's put that.
That's a lot to overcome.
That is a lot to overcome, and good for you that you were able
Yeah.
to. It's not easy. I do want to put this up though, so people can know where to write to.
I put it on the banner at the bottom, so we can go on to the other ones if we want.
Okay. Well, I wanted to read this.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. For the book giveaway, the first 3 people to email will win an ebook of their choice. The email is azacher, so it's azacher123@outlook.com. Okay, that'll be the first 3 people that email there. They will get a copy of an ebook.
An ebook for any one of the books that he has on.
And he has a lot of books. I mean, you can choose between I'm No PI, A Ghoulish Good Time, The 13th Hour, Being a PI Again. Any of the banners that we showed you there.
Right. So, okay.
Yes.
And then how can we reach, if they want to reach you on the social media, we can go with Twitter. It's at Alan Lee Zach. So ALANLEEZACH on Twitter. And on Facebook, it'd be alan.zacher.568. That's alan.zacher.568. So if you want to connect with him on the social media, that's how you would do it. So
Okay, did we get everything out there?
I
Facebook,
think we
Twitter,
did.
email, the
Yep.
book giveaway.
He's also found on Indie Book Source, as his books are all listed there.
George Dismuke says, congratulations on overcoming your obstacles.
Well, thank you.
And continuing to overcome those obstacles, because
really-
you're battling this every day.
You're an inspiration to lots of people. It's never too late. Always try again.
Thank you.
And that story sounds great. That's very, very cool. I like that.
Yeah, I'm no PI. That was a little synopsis of I'm no PI.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then the next one is being a PI again.
That's someone's trying to kill Tom.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
And then,
So-
we don't want to forget the other ones that, as he said, he writes for fun, murders, vampires, and leprechauns. And
Everybody loves leprechauns.
oh, yeah. Until they find out what they really are. We're of Irish descent. I know what a leprechaun is.
A couple of days ago, I saw that leprechaun movie, and they stole a scene from me. They did it. I wrote this before, but shoes. If you throw shoes at them, they can't help it. They gotta repair them. This was on that movie, and I'm going, I wrote that. They stole that from me. But anyway.
Paul said he loves that story. I love Alan's story and how he's
I do
overcome
too.
so much.
I do
Sorry, that's our little dog. It's not a hellhound.
Oh, I certainly believe that life is a process of learning about yourself, the people in it, and I think writing is the same. We search for self through our writing, and hopefully we say something.
And the other day you said that someone had told you that your story made them smile when they were going through a very hard time. And you said how fulfilling that was. And that's true. When we're authors and we write something that touches somebody's life in a real way and helps them in some way, anyway, that's so fulfilling and it makes it all worthwhile, right?
Absolutely. It'd be great to be Stephen King, rich and famous and stuff. But if you can't be that, don't write for that reason. Write to learn, write to explore, write to grow as a person, write to connect. I mean, my writing, probably the hardest thing for me to accomplish was my writing voice. Once I got the writing voice, which it's hard to explain if you don't know what a writing voice is. It's like style, but it's much higher. It's on a much higher level. You were talking about stories that write themselves. To have your writer's voice, it's up there where you can do that. It's up there where you connect with something higher, something more powerful, something everlasting. And you connect and you're joined and you learn more about who you are, and I think that's the thing that has been so satisfying me to writing, that there are times where I go, did I write that? Deep. Holy cow, that deep. Because I'm not a deep person. I'm not.
I think you're pretty deep.
I think you're deeper than you think.
And Trish said, great advice, right? To grow and to connect. And
well,
it is good.
When all is said and done, it's the difference you have made in life. It's not how rich you become or powerful.
Right.
It's what you can say, I have left this behind. and the world, the people in it are better. That in some small way is something I said, help someone who may be in the throes of darkness crawl their way out of it.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, we
Yes.
do need to break for commercial.
Yes.
And we'd like
Thank
you to
you.
sit back and relax. You're going to
Yeah.
still be hanging
I'll
in
go
there.
to sleep.
No, don't go to sleep. Just sit
Okay.
there. Just sit and relax and
Okay.
be nice, okay?
Just so you know, people, Alan is joking. He has a great sense of humor.
Okay, we're going to break for commercial right now. 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll come back. We're going to bring in Susanne Leist.
See you in a little bit.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com.
At Indie Book Source, you can shop by genre or by author, and you will be buying direct from the author's main purchase link. We offer hundreds of titles in formats that include ebooks, paperback, hardbound, and audiobook. Support an indie author. Visit indiebooksource.com today.
In a world where advancing technology is outpacing crime solving, the O'Rourke team continues their relentless pursuit of justice. Bioprints is the first book in the O'Rourke crime novel series where it's high-tech crime versus old-fashioned detective work. Visit carternovels.com or amazon.com and check out Bioprints today.
WLFE Digital Broadcast Network presents Variety Unlimited Television. Watch shows like Meet the Author Podcast, The Bipolar DM, Just Cindy, Card Pulls and Coffee, Unfiltered Talk with Bryce, and more. That's right, our shows are your shows on WLFE Digital Broadcast Network. And now, back to the show.
Welcome, Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Hi. You put me backstage for a half hour. Now my nerves are shot. That's it.
Oh, come on. They were shot before you went back there. We know. It's okay.
You'll be
Hi.
fine.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Okay, good. I'm all ready.
Good. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Meet Me in Maine, your brand new
Okay.
series, the Blue Horizon series?
Yeah.
Start out with that.
Blue Harbor. Blue Harbor.
Blue Harbor. Did I say
Well, I
Horizon?
made it up, but it's Blue Harbor. Okay. Instead of
Paul
Harbor.
says, hi, Suzanne. And
Hi. Hi.
Jan says, hi, Suzanne.
Hi, Jan. She's a Twitter friend.
I know.
Uh-huh.
There are Twitter friends too.
Oh, you froze. What did you say?
I said, yeah, there are Twitter friends too. And
Right,
Trish
right.
says, welcome, Suzanne.
Hi, Trish. Hi.
Okay.
Okay.
Blue Harbor series, but everybody that
Right.
listens to the show will tell you that I mix up my words all the time. So,
So do I.
okay.
And names. Forget about the names.
Me
Right.
too. So,
Okay.
my apologies. Tell us about Meet Me in
Well,
Maine.
you made me think for a
News.
second. I said, no, wait, I called it Blue Harbor. Okay. I get easily confused.
Sorry.
Okay, well, it takes place in Maine at a small town. I made it up. It's close. It's right close to Kennebunkport. I analyzed the map, so So I made it a small vacation town. It's a little further south, but it's smaller and it's more quaint, and it has tourists, but not as congested as Kennebunkport. So that's where the action takes place. So I have to speak. like
Yes.
continuously? You're not going to ask questions?
You don't have to speak continuously, but you
No.
might be able to tell us a little synopsis about the book besides where it takes place.
Oh, okay. My main character is Elizabeth, and she's in her mid-20s, and her friend Scarlett. They grew up in New York City. They had their careers, and they decided there she is. That's the back of her. I like back views of people. I don't know. They decided to leave. She's coming off a difficult relationship with a doctor, kind of a controlling relationship, and she wants to spread her wings. And Scarlett is tired of working in finance and business, like me. And they decided to move to Maine, and they're going to buy a bed and breakfast. And Elizabeth inherited money from an aunt she never met. And this aunt left her the money, not her parents. And so she took the money, and they packed the bags, and they went to Maine. And they get there, they take an apartment, and right away, creepy things begin to happen. They unpack. They meet the person that runs the apartment building, and she has some issues. And they meet some of the characters in the first few chapters. But all the way at the beginning, the first night they go to the ice cream parlor, and it's a quaint little place, pink, and it has booths and everything. And they meet the owner and the teenager that works for him, and it's all people are laughing, and everything is very pretty. And then the door opens, and a guy walks in holding his throat, and he's bleeding. He has a gash across his throat, and he says they're back, and he dies right on the floor there.
Ruh-oh.
And that's when everything starts going haywire.
They're back. And
Right.
Who they are.
Well, I
Right.
was wanting ice cream, but now that's gone.
In the pink ice cream parlor. Right.
Jan says great cover art, and it is. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Let's
And,
see what you say. I love the cover art and the location. Living in Florida, Maine is now an exotic place for me. This sounds like my kind of story. Oh, well.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Murder, She Wrote inspired me to
giving this story away. I'm
Right.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's what we were discussing before the show, that I love Murder, She Wrote. That's what my favorite show. I've watched each one maybe 30 times, and I've memorized it, and that's me at the typewriter, and then that's what I wanted to be since I watched the show. Well, anyway, this book, my last series had vampires and demons, well, pretty much vampires. But this one, I decided, okay, enough with the vampires. I'm going to do something different. And I was watching Netflix, and there was a show called Haven. It was based on The Colorado Kid by Stephen King.
Yes.
I fell for it. I watched the series like 3 times, and I said,
Yes.
"Oh no, it's over. What am I going to do?" So I said, I'm going to write it into a book, but I didn't use the same plot, and it was Maine. That was the only thing. It was she comes to town. The other person was an agent, an FBI agent, but it was a whole different thing. Had different kind of paranormal. But this one I used an Indian curse, and from the Penobscot Indians that first lived there before the settlers came, and they put a curse on all the descendants. And lo and behold, Scarlett and Elizabeth meet the descendants, and so they fall for them, and they get involved in their lives of, So the curse returns when they come, and weird things happen. For one thing is that the harbor blows up when they're standing there. Just a flame bursts, and the boats go on fire, and it's nothing really said it. Just things happen. People turn to stone, and so they're running around, and they have to figure out who's the cursed one this time. Who is holding the curse? And the person holding the curse. Well, I'm giving away some of the spoilers.
All right. Don't give
that
any
Okay. But the cursed one has paranormal powers. So he's, he or she is, an awesome person that they have to be careful, right?
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
I have a question.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Just as you were telling the story, I was wondering, the person who is the cursed one, do they know that they're the cursed one? And do they know that they have paranormal powers?
Yes, they
do. Okay, they do. All right.
And they're bad. Right. Yeah. And they're trying to kill off the descendants one by one. But this gets revealed over the time. They don't really know right away. Only the people on the show will know. But usually with my books, I unfold things slowly. And there's clues along the way. So I've jumped maybe, I don't know, 10 chapters in.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So your first one was Dead Game, the Dead Game.
Oh, okay.
Right?
In the
And
Dead Game series.
That is the Dead Game series,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
that's mostly about the paranormal.
Right,
mystery.
vampires.
Yeah.
But it's based in a small town, and this time I call the town Oasis, and it's in Florida. It's a small town on the coast of Florida. I like cozy mysteries. When I started writing the series, I was going to write a cozy mystery. I took End House from Agatha Christie. I love the name End House. Had a house at the water. Strange things happen. Now the house is kind of alive and it does things and there's revolving rooms, but whatever. But you don't know who's the bad person, and the people in the town are suspecting each other, and people are dying. There's dead bodies washing up on shore. So this is totally different. And I'm not using like Dracula lore and all the mythology. I made up my own things. I introduced human vampires, and these are half human and half vampire. And in my second book, they're able to walk in the light. But I did a whole research on genetics. So these vampires, they did genetic research, and they're able to make themselves walk in the light. So this is like different, right? But these are regular people. They all look like us. And some of them happen to be vampires, and some are human vampires. And some are good, and some are bad. And then you have to figure out who's killing whom. And
that sounds really good. Now
this is the first book. The Dead Game has End House, right? And the second one has Disney World. They go to Disney World because they find out the vampires are hiding in Disney World, and where they're hiding. Okay, Disney World has New Orleans. There's something called Club 33. Okay, Walt Disney created this VIP club. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like $100,000 membership. You have to be invited by a member. And it's usually presidents and actors and heads of state. They go there. And it's 33 Royal Street in New Orleans section.
Yeah, we know.
Right? But this is real.
Yeah, we walk past it all the time.
I know. I haven't been there since I wrote this, but okay. But this is in Disneyland. I didn't know there was going to be one in Disney World. So I made mine in Disney World because I thought, okay, there's one in Disneyland. So I called it the club because I don't want to take, Walt Disney's name away. Okay, so I called it the club, whatever. So, is the club standing after this all happens? I don't know. But there's a lot of fighting and and then also there's some action in the swamps. I like the swamps of Florida. With alligators and the swamplands and the marshland. Yeah, you can see vampires roaming around there on their little boats, the airboats. Okay. So that's the second one. Now the third one, The Dead at Heart, I decided, where am I going to take my vampires now? Like, okay, I haven't really traveled that much internationally, but I like Quebec. Now, Quebec is France to me. I've never been to France, but Quebec is so quaint. Okay, so my vampires go to Quebec for the third book. And where are they? Well, where did I stay? Chateau Frontenac. Oh, so I love that place. Okay, but it kind of gets blown up in my book. But anyway, and they're fighting and they're going up and down the vehicular. There's an elevator going up and down, and there's shops down there. And okay, so you can tell that I stretch my imagination, and it's kind of it's stretched out.
Whatever you like, you blow up. So what is this? My third wife was
lawyers are half human, half
George says my third wife was half human, half vampire.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, she was already qualified to become a lawyer.
Right, and she walked in the light, so she's one of the newer ones, I guess.
Good one, George.
You wouldn't be able to tell because mine look the same as regular people. They don't have horns or anything. They just, Yeah.
Okay, as you may have seen, the book giveaway has started. The first 10 people to email susbs1000@gmail.com will win an ebook copy of her new release, Meet Me in Maine.
Okay, so it's the Meet Me in Maine. 10 people will win it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an ebook. So
Okay.
get typing, people.
Get typing. Get your
'cause
requests
it sounds
in
really
there.
good. Paul
Okay.
Hollis wants to say, you and Alan tell
Thank
a
you.
great story. Yes, yes, they do.
But I'm finished. What now? I have nothing else to say. Ask me a question.
Okay. When did you start writing? How long ago?
Oh, I think it was 13 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was helping my daughters write their essays for college. And I came up with like this idea, and my daughter was like, "What?" And I said, "Oh my God, I like writing." I wrote this whole thing. My mother was, I don't even know if she ends up using it, but I have it somewhere. My mother she was blind her whole life. She had got dementia. So she ended up in the nursing home because she got a little violent at the end, whatever. So I kind of wrote, well, she used part of it in her essay of her sitting at the table and like not hearing things, but not being able to see anything, and her being lonely and touching the table and not knowing, is it dinner time or, well, anyway, that kind of started me writing. But I went into vampires and other things to explore. I had to learn how to write. I had to, it's been a learning process. I think it took me 10 years, but now I think I've got it. I finally got it.
Congratulations.
The plot points, everything. I figured it out. So
every author listening to you is like, we understand.
We totally get
saying.
that. We know what you're
you do
saying.
the pinch points and the plot points. Oh my God. Oh yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. And you have to make your characters move around. I said that to you for a long time. You have to make them move. Not only are they moving, they're talking. And what are they doing? Are they blinking? I was like, it's not the same thing. But I write like I'm watching TV. I think mine becomes like a TV show or a movie. It becomes a movie or TV show, and I present it, I guess, like that. And that's how I guess I write.
Well, Alan doesn't like watching TV, so I'm not sure he'd like to read your books.
Oh, too bad.
I'm just saying. No.
You don't watch Supernatural or the originals? Oh, I love the vampire shows. Okay.
Both of the authors tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Great covers.
They do.
They do, James. They're both really beautiful.
They're very interesting.
Yeah.
And
you know what I did? I took
compelling.
3 pictures from Pixabay and I put them together. But I'm not really. I'm not electronic savvy. I'm kind of challenged when it comes to anything electronic, even ovens. My new oven, I don't know, it's my enemy. But anyway, and I found somebody online, and he made it into a cover for me. Oh my God, it was like pulling teeth. It's like move this in, move this out. No, but he came up with that nice The Harbor series. I was very proud of him. But he put it all together, and it came out nice. But now I think he disappeared. Now I'm going to have to find somebody else for the next book.
Sorry. James says he writes like that. I think he means like you write, like he's watching a movie. Or
like a movie. Oh, okay. I guess if you could visualize it, then you could, yeah.
And Jan says, yes, I agree. Both have awesome stories to tell. Yes, you do.
I think after this series, I'm going to write something serious, I think. I have an idea about my brother. Well, he died when I was 22. He was in a car accident, but he was in a coma for 2 years. And everything changed. I was going for an MBA in finance. I was in the business world. And then he was a CEO of American Bakeries, of a Fortune 500 company. And then my life changed. I lost my taste for money and business. I mean, I like money, but I just wasn't in the cutthroat kind of feeling anymore. And, kind of stayed home, taking care of the kids, and I worked part-time at different things. But then eventually it led me to writing. But I want to write a book before and after Neil. That was his name. I'm ready now. His name was Neil. That sounds
good. Yeah, that'll be real. James said the only problem is he's having long stories. He writes 100 to 120 pages. That's not a problem.
No.
Right.
No, long stories are good.
Long is good, short is good. Just so you got something to say.
Yeah, long stories, short stories, you can write.
My first book was like over 300 pages. And then when I wrote the next 2, I didn't like the first one anymore. So I went back because the second one got better. And then the third one was much better than the first 2. So I went back and rewrote the first one and ended up with 200 pages. I really chopped. It's harder to rewrite something than writing from scratch.
It is.
Oh, God.
We know.
Like 8 times that we wrote that stupid thing. I don't know. But now I think I have it where I like it. The story's the same. It's just the extra words. And when you take out all the extraneous words, you could lose 100 words just like that.
Oh, yeah. Editing really.
No adverbs, nothing anymore. Just, down to the bone. Right. Yeah. So.
Yep. And that's
those are my first reviews. Yeah. It was too flowery, so now I'm not flowery anymore. But I still base my books on relationships. That's my key thing. I have women protagonists, and they usually have a best friend, and they go through their relationships, and usually fall in love. Because I always want somebody to fall in love. It's always whatever. Well, I guess Dan Brown doesn't have people fall. Maybe sometimes. I'm thinking about the authors I like. Fred Melton. Yeah.
Trish is answering James. She says 120-page stories are totally fine. I will read any length if it's something I'm interested in. And that's the truth, isn't it?
Right.
Long stories, short stories, little novellas, long novels.
Right.
As long as it's interesting.
Well, how long does a novel should be? Mine are usually 200 to 300. But I think they should be longer, really. I know, but I don't have the patience, really. I
think you're supposed to go by
show. I don't want it. I don't want to go through all the silliness. I want the plot. I want the clues. I want things to go. I want the movement. I don't want to sit and see what color the bushes are. I mean, I'll edit and the smells. I know you need that, but I want the action. So I guess.
Yeah, it goes by word count. I think for a novel, it's supposed to be more than 50,000 words or something like that.
Yeah, and then a novella is less than that, and a short story is less than that.
An epic novel is like over 100,000 or something.
I would never be able to write that.
No,
my last one was 51,000. I pushed the last. Well, I edited it, and I lost 2,000, and I said, where could I put the 2,000 back in? And I edited a few scenes, took them out, and I edited, and I ended up with 2 scenes that kind of gave good flavor to it. Yeah.
Trish says The Lord of the Rings is actually one story. The publisher made him split it into 3 books.
Yeah, well, we can't all write like him.
No. And George says, the more we do this, the better we are supposed to get at it. It's a natural process of finding one's center.
I believe that, George. Right. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. The more you do it, the better you get. And the the more comfortable you are.
Right. It's easier to start now. It's easier to finish it. I find the ending the easiest part. The beginning, I don't like. Usually, first chapter is the hardest.
Alan said you have to find your voice, and that's what he was talking about. Once you find your voice, then it's easier to write.
Well, you know my voice. I'm sarcastic. That's my voice, and that's what comes. That's it.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's tell everybody where to find you, Susanne. On your website, it's www.suzanneleist.com. And that's SUSANNELEIST.com. And on Twitter, you're at Susanne Leist. And Facebook, just connect to Facebook, search author Susanne Leist. There you go.
And also,
I stalk the internet. Yes, I'm everywhere. Yeah.
The book giveaway is the first 10 people to email will win an ebook copy of the new release, Meet Me in Maine. And that's her email is susbs1000@gmail.com.
So I made that too complicated. Yeah. I made it all the way at the beginning. I realized, oh my God, I have to say it over the phone to doctor's office. Because it's Suzanne, S-U-S, Beth Schwartz. And then, well, my name is Schwartz, But I use Lisa as my maiden name. And I looked up online, where did my mother get Suzanne from? I don't know. But it's German. I thought it was French. The French one has Z in it. So my mother picked the German one. Right. And the last name Leist sounds very German, but my father was Polish, so I'm just a mutt.
Oh, speaking of mutts, so what's your dog's name?
Oh, Nanus Schwartz.
Nanus. That was an interesting story.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, it took place in Quebec. My daughter, when she was tiny, she was on a horse and buggy ride, and she loved the horse. He was a white horse, and the guy said Nanus. Well, it was spelled N-O-U-S, N-O-U-S-R. I think there was R in the middle and R at the end, and meant teddy bear. So, 10, 11 years later, when she was 16, we got him, because I wanted a white dog, because my brother had a white dog. So, I'm very into my brother, whatever. So, and then we called him Noose. So, or Noosey, Noose, yeah. So people on the street, what's your dog's name? Like, oh, Noose. What does it mean? Where did it come from? How do you spell it? Kids come over. Well, he's very friendly. He likes kids and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we named our dog Missy.
Oh, that's easy.
Hey, Missy. Hey, Missy.
Come here, Missy.
No, you shouldn't have
I
said
think
that.
girl dogs are easier than boy. I know I always have boy animals. I have
You
a
turn
boy
around and
rabbit.
look.
I have boy cats. I got a boy dog.
So,
So we should perhaps ask Alan if he has
yeah,
anything.
Alan, Suzanne, do you guys have any questions for each other? Or
Well, you like Murder, She Wrote? I'm Monk. I love.
Oh, I love Monk,
Monk.
right?
Yeah,
What about Columbo? Columbo is also my favorite.
combo is, and I have a friend. I haven't seen him in over 20 years, but he appeared in some episodes and directed some episodes of Murder, She Wrote. His name is Dennis Dugan.
Oh.
Have you ever?
What was it? That's the character's name? What's his name?
No, that's
No, he wrote it. The man who wrote it.
name.
Oh.
Dennis Dugan. He appeared in a couple episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and he
Oh.
Directed.
a couple episodes, and very talented man, and has appeared in many. Not now. I mean, sadly, when you're supposed to never give anything a negative. You're supposed to give positive to everything. But one of the challenges of growing old, but I'm saying one of the bitches of growing old, is that people around you die. And more and more the longer you live. And one of my best friends was Gary Shandling, who was a comedian during
Oh,
the 70s.
I love him.
Yeah.
The curly hair, right? He made fun of himself all the time. Yeah. Oh, he's good. Is he still alive? Is he alive still?
No,
I don't.
he's
He's not alive.
He had a massive heart attack
Oh.
3 years ago and died, but it
Oh.
nearly broke my heart when
Oh.
I heard this, And let me ask you, do you live
Oh, Forever
in
Night.
Maine?
That was good. Yeah.
But
No,
Trish said her question is for both of you. Did you ever watch a TV show in the 80s about a vampire named Nick Knight called Forever Night? It was filmed in
Absolutely.
Canada.
yeah. Did he have a car? Did he have a black car or something? I
No.
remember it. No, I
No,
remember
you're
a
thinking
car.
of Kit.
that was
Michael
Michael Knight.
Knight.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay.
In the top of Canada, it was enough fun. The writing was phenomenal, but the damn thing came on 12 o'clock at night, Sunday night. in St. Louis.
Too
You
late.
know,
That sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. Besides that, yeah.
Great show. The writing was superb, and the
Yes,
show.
he had a friend who was a police detective.
Yeah,
I remember that show. I really liked it.
Yeah, I can't remember who was in it. Who's starred in it?
of every episode was, what is your humanity? How can you get your humanity back? And it was brilliantly acted, brilliantly cast, excellent show. But it was on in St. Louis, 12 o'clock Sunday nights. And I couldn't stay up that late, but excellent show. Where do you live? Do you live in Maine?
No, I live in New York.
New York. Oh my
Right,
God.
right. Yeah.
I see all my stories. I've lived in Los Angeles and Chicago for a while, but all of my stories, I was born and raised in St. Louis. And there's something about a hometown atmosphere that I love. You
Yeah,
know,
but other than Long Island, there's no hometown atmosphere. It's too cold. The sports are cold. Nobody talks to each other. Everybody goes in their cars. I'm not basing anything on.
Now, you've
here.
never been to Maine, right?
No.
Okay. The funny thing is that when we love Maine, and when you go there, every little town, the big thing that they have is an ice cream parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, it's good.
Well, that's
Okay,
like
it's good. I put an
gathering.
ice cream parlor in it.
When you said that, it honestly
Oh.
made me laugh. And if you ask our grandchildren what their favorite thing is about going to Maine, they're going to tell you ice cream.
Is it
Well,
been
it
in
came to
Jared?
me. I don't know. It just ice cream parlor
Vermont.
came to me.
They're from Vermont, I think, but close enough. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. It's all the same.
But
Yeah, but Fletcher didn't go to an ice cream parlor and murder she wrote. I don't remember her going into an ice cream parlor.
No, she didn't. She always went to a little country store that had breakfast and lunch and dinner, that kind of country.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
which they have those there too, But yeah, they all have homemade ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal there, and it's Garrett Wynn that was the lead in Forever Night. He was Nick Knight.
Garrett Wynn.
Yeah, and Nigel Bennett was Lucien LaCroix. Trying to see who else. A lot of interesting actors were in that.
There was a good vampire one called Moonlight. It's the guy that's played in. Yes, wasn't that good?
Over, but
I know why. Why?
Well, you know what? He became very famous in
Hawaii Five-O.
Yeah.
But he's not good like that. That show, he was much better.
For some reason,
but I liked him in Moonlight.
It was
and you know who sidekicked the white guy, the guy with the white hair? That was Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Really?
Yeah. Saying goodbye. She has to go. It's interesting listening to you, Ron and Suzanne. Good luck with your books and writing. Thank you, Robin Joan. Another great podcast. Goodbye, Jan. Thanks for stopping by.
See you on Twitter. That's why I know her.
This is something you were talking about. Most beginner writers, their books are 80,000 words long. Unless you're Stephen King, you can't really get a longer novel published, even though it might be sensational. You're unknown, and it's a business. So basically, the beginner writer has to pretty well stick to 80,000 words.
Right. Well, fantasy ones with the fairies, and I don't write that. Those could be like 1,000 pages. I'm happy I don't write that. But I can't pronounce the names in those books, so if I did that, I'd be in trouble. I get lost. I have to remember the names. Those are really weird. Names of dragons and like Harry Potter kind of books, right? But that's different than us, right? That's not paranormal. That's totally different genre, right?
Yeah, right.
No, yep.
Right.
Follows a different thread there.
And of course, we love paranormal.
There you go.
Right. It's not fantasy. We're not fantasy, really, are we? It's paranormal because fantasy is the goblins and the dragons, right? Yeah. Okay, right. Even dark fantasy, maybe that's paranormal. Is that?
That's a little more leaning toward paranormal. Yeah.
Paranormal. When my very first novel was published by a publishing company, small, in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it was a horrible experience. I hated it. And the guy's business is no longer in business. He was constant, no, you can't do that. Take this out. Add more here. Do this. And when I decided to go indie and publish my own, the biggest fear I had was, are people going to say to me, well, come on, is this a comedy murder mystery, or is this a serious murder mystery? You can't have both. It's got to be serious, or it's got to be a comedy from the get-go. You can't mix up genres. Do you know I have published 6 Never. Not so far. Knock on wood. Not one negative response.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, our books are based on Nick and Nora, so that's funny that you mentioned that about
Right,
Nick.
right.
I didn't know that was in your books, but we love Nick and Nora, and we love the way that they banter and they talk to each other. And oh, wait a minute, let's see.
They're English, right?
It
They're
says-
English couple, right?
No, they were American, but they were
They were
always
American?
drunk.
I saw it on TV. I didn't read any of the books.
I disagree. Humor belongs in almost every story, if you ask me. Right, Trish, and that was the point that I was just getting to, is that the whole point is that people are funny. I mean, you know, we're funny.
Funny things happen.
Funny things happen, you know, and we say funny things, and so you're good. Shouldn't every book have everything? You know,
Yeah.
anger, jealousy,
Right,
happiness.
right.
All
The main character, you got the Joker person. Yeah.
Now,
right.
if you wanted to distinguish a true crime from a crime, you know, or a murder mystery, true crime may not have much humor in it. You know,
That's
Well, yeah,
right.
but that's not non-fic.
that's more of a
that's-
nonfiction
That's
kind of
nonfiction,
thing.
not
So
fiction.
Like Grimes, she's very dry. Was Martha Grimes? Well, she's like what I started reading at the beginning.
Well, she was she wrote fiction though.
yeah,
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 but that's like a classic murder
I said
mystery.
true
No
crime is
humor.
not fiction though. That's what I said.
Right,
True
right,
crime is
right.
not fiction.
Agatha Christie didn't have humor. I mean, she had humorous characters. I mean, Poirot was kind of funny looking with his, you know.
Very.
Thing.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
but it's
humor
different.
though.
yeah, that was
That was she
Yeah.
wrote that to be funny.
like campy.
Right, right.
Absolutely. I loved Hercule Poirot. I loved that whole series
But there's
because
no humor in her words, but the characters were humorous.
yes.
Yeah,
And
so
that's
it's
a
different.
very
hmm
great way to write, to be able to write that subtle
Right,
humor.
right. You're making
love
fun of your characters, but nobody's saying it and nobody's thinking it, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was great.
Yes.
No, she was
Yeah.
great.
I've crossed genders. Every story I write has humor in it, even though it's very serious. Nobody said a word.
Listen,
Here's
here's
the comment
an
of the day.
insightful comment.
Yeah. Dogs fart and presidents throw up. Thank you, James.
Yes, this dog does a lot. Yes, yes.
That is true.
Crime is noir. True crime is noir. Oh, I love noir crime too. Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
I do too.
there is a show called Homicide Detective with Joe Kenda. It goes over murder cases, and he is actually hilarious.
Yeah,
so even
so
true
there is
crime
room for
humor
that.
has
Yeah.
a place.
Yeah, that answers that question.
The true crime is usually depressing. I don't know. I find like if you look at the actual things on TV, they're so sad. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
Yeah.
know what happened with our children. We have 6. They're all adults. You know,
You don't know where
5
they are?
daughters. No, I said I don't know what happened with them because most
Yeah,
of our
14
daughters,
grandchildren. Right.
14 grandchildren. Most of our daughters are true crime aficionados. They watch every true crime story. They read all the true crime books. They can tell you about cold cases. They follow cold cases. They know everything.
that's because we were always running from the law.
I don't-
And if something says based on a true story, I won't watch it because it's usually, and HBO always has that. I don't want it because that's not escapism enough for me. It's usually too serious and it gets me depressed afterwards. And I don't want to be depressed after I read something.
Trish says, I know all the cereal.
Well,
And your
how,
family,
about,
right?
how about that series? What's his name? Dexter? I thought.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Dexter. Oh,
Yes.
I wouldn't watch that. It's too much. That's too much.
It is bloody.
Yeah.
You
And
talk
it
about a protagonist and an antagonist all in one. He's
The redeeming,
hero.
the redeeming quality of that show, which should be the redeeming quality of even your bad characters is that he fights for his humanity. He's a serial killer, but he hates
Right.
himself. And
Right. He's a
dealing with-
sympathetic character. You're supposed to feel sorry for him, right?
Absolutely.
Like that TV show You. He's also like a killer, but he falls in love with somebody. Right. Watch 2 of those. Yeah.
Anti-hero hero. Well, we better
Yeah,
be
we
signing
need
off,
to-
guys.
Need to kind of wind her down here now. And
Okay.
so going to drop you guys backstage.
Wait
And if you
for
want
us.
to
We'll be
It was nice
wait for us
meeting you.
backstage, and we'll have a little chat.
Nice
Bye,
meeting
everybody.
you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Oh,
Man.
thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next week, we are going to have our last UK author night. We're going to have Judy Haste, or Jude Haste, we're not sure, and Carol Yeomanson on the show. From the UK, they're staying up late, so we should make an effort to watch them.
Paul, wait a minute. Paul says, thanks, Joan and Rob, Allen, and Suzanne. Great show. Thank you, Paul, for watching.
Mhm.
Trish says, thank you. Wait a minute. George Dismuke says, great show. Thank you. Thank you, George.
Thank you. We're going to slide into
Trish
July.
said, thank you, everyone.
In July, we're going to have Jim Bauk
says, great
on
show.
July 7th. Jim Bauk and Bob Long and Lisa O'Hara. I think you have Lisa's book there. They wrote, they're from MUFON, these 2 fellows, Jim Bauk and Robert Long. And they're going to be here to talk about alien abductions and all that sort of thing. And this is
Abducted and Furious.
Lisa O'Hara.
Yep.
She's going to be on the same show. So the 3 of them will be on. That's July 7th.
And those are both nonfiction books.
Yes.
So if you're interested in UFOs and that sort of thing, be sure to
don't miss that one.
tune in, because that's going to be interesting.
So I guess.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
I have
you got
things
something you want to say?
I wanted
Okay,
to tell
cool.
you to remember to watch the after our show is Inside the Drag Closet. It's on at 8:30. Wanted to give them a shout out. There's one more comment.
Okay.
That look very interesting. Oh, it is,
It will be.
because this is a MUFON field director and a MUFON investigator who investigates abductees. And they were going to be on the show. And then this woman who wrote this book, Abducted and Furious, happened to email us and said, can I be on your show? And we thought, oh my gosh, it'd be great to put her on with the 2 who wrote that other book. And then they found out that there was going to be an abductee on the show, and they were like really excited. So it should be really good. It should be interesting. Yeah, I've talked enough.
Okay, so until next time.
That's all, folks.